Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to all. Hope you are safe at your homes and doing well. So, this is our first class regarding the third week, and we have seen the topics earlier in the 2 weeks. That's regarding this subject UEE, that's utilization of electrical energy, and we have seen different uh, characteristics, different types of motors, different applications. So based upon the applications, what are the types of motors you are going to uh, use for your purposes that may be in a domestic and industrial purpose. And apart of that, we have studied the control of your speed of your motor, which we are used for your purpose at the industrial side. So in the earlier classes, we have studied the some of the methods for controlling the speed of your DC motors, methods for controlling of DC motors. The DC motor has been classified by depending upon the type of connection. That is nothing but shunt, series, and compound motors. So now, uh, day before yesterday, we have seen the class regarding the DC shunt motor. So how the DC shunt motor speed is going to be controlled, and what are the methods you have choose for controlling the speed of your DC shunt motor. So before we studied the DC shunt, we for the DC motors, the methods, whatever the we are applying for controlling of the speed, has been categorized into two parts. That's nothing but field control methods and armature control methods. So here field control methods, why they have been categorized. So why? Because whatever the control is going to be made at the side of the field of your motor also kept into the category of field control methods. And whatever the terms, that is nothing but armature current, armature voltage. So all these things are going to be controlled at the side of the armature, though whatever the methods we are going to be used at the armature side are categorized into armature control methods. So whatever the motor you have considered for controlling the speed for your industrial purpose has been classified into two types, that is field control methods and armature control methods. So earlier in the classes, we have seen the methods for the DC shunt motor. For today class, we are going to see the methods what are used for controlling the speed of your DC series motor. Okay, so here is your thing. Let me do one thing. Yeah. Okay, here this is the speed control of your series motor. In the previous class, we have seen the speed control of DC shunt motor. Now, here also we are going to see the same methods, that is nothing but field control methods and armature control methods, which we have studied earlier in for the DC shunt motor. So here also the speed of the DC series motor is also going to be vary by changing the field current and flux voltage which was applied at the armature type. So here also in the earlier classes, I have just a minute. See here in the earlier class, we have discussed regarding the DC motors. The speed of the DC motor is going to be regulated by changing the flux resistance and or the voltage across the armature. So here, these three, by using these three components or these three terms, we are going to be control the speed of your any DC motor of any type, that is a series or shunt or compound. So same as here also we are going to control for the series motor. So here, what is this? the field current which was connected, so the field which was connected in series to the armature, the current which was passing through this field is going to be controlled or going to be regulated by regulation of some field current, that is nothing but series field current. We are going to vary the speed, and the second one is the flux. By varying the flux, you are going to vary the speed of your motor. And again, just okay. Here, as per the DC shunt motor, we are also having these three components. By varying these three components, we are going to have the controls. So same as that shunt, we are here also, we are going to categorize it into two types, that is the field control methods and armature control methods. So now we are going to see what are the types of the methods we are going to study under these field control methods, and what are the methods you are going to use for the armature control methods. Okay, so first one under the field control methods. So in every series motor of DC supply, so there will be a variation of flux. Now by varying the flux in the series motor, the speed is going to be controlled. So what are the methods here we are going to use? What are the methods we are going to use for this variation of the flux? So these are the some of the methods here we have used is field diverters method, armature diverters method, tapped field control, and paralleling field coils method. These are the four methods here we are using, so that we can have the variation of the flux which was produced in the circuit. Okay, let us see or let us discuss one by one method. Kinley. Yes. See the circuit connection of the field diverters method. Just check it out. Just differentiate between the connections, whatever the connected for the shunt and what are the connected for the series. So here, what it means, a resistor is going to be connected parallel to the series field. Have you noticed? Yeah. Yes, let us continue. Here, this is the your series motor, a field which is connected in series to the armature terminals. This is armature terminals A and AA. A and AA. So whatever the current passing through the armature is the current passing through this. Here the field, yes, this is your field which was connected in series to the armature. So a resistor which is going to be connected parallel to this series field, parallel to this series field, parallel to the series field, so that we can divert this supply current. We can divert the supply current which was flowing to the armature through this series field. So what will happen when the current is diverted from the entering to the series field? So then we hear the whatever the drop or whatever the current passing through this armature is going to be controlled. By the controlling of this current, we are going to control the flux. That is nothing but we are going to decrease the flux by varying this variac of the series field to the resistor. This is nothing but this variable resistor is nothing but a field diverter. See, this is the, let me have the pen. Yes. See, this is the resistor which was connected parallel. When the supply current is flowing up to this point, from this point, the current is going to be diverted. So here some amount of current, not the total current of the supply, is going to flow through the series field. Some of the current is going to be diverted. So by varying this variac, if the variac is at the minimum position, then what will happen? So a maximum amount of current is going to be to flow through the armature. So if you increase the resistor value, then what will happen? The value of the current flowing to the armature is going to be decreased. Then thereby decreasing the value of current, the flux is going to be decreased. When the flux is decreased, the speed of the motor is going to be increased. The current is going to be decreased because the flux depends upon the current. So we can have the relation, the torque depends upon the armature current depends upon the flux. So by varying the flux, that means by decreasing the flux, the speed is going to be increased. So by this action, we are going to have the sum of the characters which was drawn between the speed and the armature current C. So this is the curve. This is the curve without resistor. That means the field diverter without connection of the field diverter, if you apply the total full current, supply current to the armature, then what will happen? What is the characteristic? See, at the minimum value of armature current, the speed is very high. The speed is very high. So after inclusion of the resistor, that is nothing but field diverter. After inclusion of this field diverter, what will happen? The speed is going to be decreased for the high value of currents. By increasing the value of, this is the first curve which we experienced without connecting any field diverter across the series field. So this is the character we are going to be seeing. So when connecting this field diverter and keep on increasing the resistor, then the flux is going to be decreased by varying this current, and the characteristics are going to be like this. Because the speed is going to be increased. At this point, at the maximum level without R, at the starting we are going to get the maximum speed, and keep on increasing the armature current, the speed is going to be decreased. That is the common, that is the basic thing happens in every motor. But here by connecting in a resistor, see here you are going to have the speed which was more than this without resistor and with resistor. Nothing but we are going to divert the current. That means we are decreasing the flux. By decreasing the flux, what will happen? The speed is going to be increased. So if you compare these two lines, by at some point of resistor value, the speed is having the high value. We are going to get the some high speed when compared to the previous without resistor. See, if you consider, if you expand or extend this line to the y-axis, here the value of the speed you are going to get. So when you connected in resistor, here this is the value. So by the comparison, by increasing the resistor, we can have we can increase the speed of the motor. So by this way, we are going to have the this field diverters method, right? Everyone understood? Please check this connection once again. Let us then we will step into the second method, that is the armature diverters method. In that armature diverters method, how it is going to be happen, how it is going to control the speed of the motor by controlling the armature, this thing. Okay, next. This is the armature divert. So just a small difference between the previous method and this method is just placing this armature diverter. Sorry, this is anything the resistor, whatever the resistor you have taken is a variable resistor. This previous thing, the diverter is placed parallel to the series field. But here in this method, the diverter has been placed parallel to the armature terminal. See the differences between the first method and the second method connection. So what will happen if we connect this resistor parallel to the armature? You have seen what will happen when the resistor connected parallel to the series field. And here, now we will discuss what will happen when a resistor connected parallel to the armature. So in this method, the armature of the motor is shunted. This is nothing but a shunt connection. We can say this connection is a shunt connection. So it's nothing but a resistor which was connected parallel to the armature terminals. But this is in a series motor only, just placing in a resistor parallel to the armature terminal. So what will happen if the armature current is reduced? If the armature current is reduced, that means this is the total current, which is nothing but a load current, supply current. Here, this is the current. It is at this point, if I consider this is some S point, from this S point, the current is going to be divert. That means we are going to divert the current flowing to the armature. That means we are regulating the armature current. Then what will happen? Then the flux must be here increase. The flux should be increase because torque is directly proportional to Ia. So that the motor, what will do at the time of this, at this position, what will happen? Nothing but the motor is going to draw more current from the supply. When the flux is increased, that means we have to, what we have to do? The flux is increased, the motor speed should be decreased. So earlier case I have said this, if the armature current decreases, the flux is going to be decreased. So if you decrease the armature current and the flux, then what will happen? The speed is going to be increased. But whereas while connecting this diverter parallel to the armature, just we are diverting the armature current. So here, whatever the current passing through the armature, the flux is going to be produced. The value of the flux produced in this type of connection is going to be high. So for the production of the high flux, what will happen? The motor is going to draw the heavy current from the supply. Why? Because the sufficient amount of current is not going to flow through the armature because we are going to divert through the resistor. So by varying this resistor value, we are going to regulate the armature current. So that's why at the time of this situation, the motor is motor is drawing more current from the supply. So current through the field winding is going to be increase. So the flux increases, the speed of the motor decreases. So here the field, whatever the current going to passing through the field is the maximum value. That means total value which was we have supplied to the series field winding from the supply. So the current through the which was flowing through the field winding increase. So the flux is also going to be increase. Here the flux is going to be increased. So whenever the flux has been increased, the motor speed is going to be reduced. That's why this method of speed control is used below the normal speed, below the normal speed. So in the industrial purposes, where they need the speed of your motor below the normal value, then we are using this method to control the speed. Okay. Next, this is the tap field control method. See, this is also in a simple, just we are going to control this armature current by placing this variable point for the different tappings. So that is nothing but we are going to increase or decrease the windings of your field coil. By that, what will happen? The current is going to be regulated. The current is going to be regulated. So by this switch, the S is nothing but a switch. Through the switch, we are going to provide number of turns of the coil to this armature. So if from this figure, the S point has been connected to the middle of your coil, then what will happen? The current which was going to this is going in this direction and the path. So here you are going to include this much amount of coil to the armature. So the current depends upon the resistive value of this coil. So by doing this, what will happen? So the net MMF, that is magnetic motive force, will change through this coil. This is nothing but an inductive coil, I think. Whenever the current passes through this coil, a magnetic motive force MMF is going to be developed. So by changing the switch to the required tappings, then what will happen? The MMF which was produced in the coil is going to be changed. So by changing this MMF, the speed of the motor is going to be changed. That depends upon the increase or decrement of your MMF. So that's why these type of connections are mainly used for your electric traction purpose. So this is the best method for controlling the speed of your DC series motor. So earlier in the previous classes at the time of starting, we have discussed regarding the drives. What is a drive? What is an electric drive? What are the type of the motors used for the different purposes? When coming to the traction purpose, we are going to use DC series motor. Why? Because it is going to have the high starting torque. So for controlling there in the electric traction, for controlling of that speed, we are going to use this control. There's nothing but this method, speed control method. There's nothing but tapped field control. So it is the best method you can have in your MCQs also. If they ask what is the best, what is the method you have used, choose for the controlling of speed in your electric traction, means you can blindly go for this tapped field control. Okay, next method. This is paralleling field control methods. It's nothing but a simple thing. By placing field windings in a parallel connection and series connection to the armature, you are going to vary the current flowing to towards the armature current. See, if you consider the series connection of the field coils, what will happen? See, so whatever this load current or the supply current passing through this series, the flux is going, the MMF which was producing is going to be very high. Then the speed of the armature is also going to be varies by connection of this series field. So when you're coming to the parallel connection, what will happen? Here also these three are in series, these three are in series, but these two are in parallel. So here also whatever the MMF produced in the field coils, either in the series arrangement or the parallel arrangement, the MMF is going to be changed. Hence what will happen? The flux is going to be changed. So thereby changing of the flux, the speed is going to be changed, either increment or decrease. So just this is for the understanding. series connection and the parallel connection. That's why we are saying the paralleling field coil method. That is, in this we are using series connection and parallel connection. So, and these are the four methods we are going to have under the field control methods. And when coming to the second method, that is armature control method, this is the thing happen here. So here, this is your series motor. This is your series motor. See here, the series field has been connected here. We always wish to draw this motor like this for the series field. This is your supply voltage which was applied between these two terminals. Okay, so please note this difference. So the series field has been connected here, and this variable resistor has been connected series to the in series to the armature terminals. So here, this is the simple thing. What will happen when a resistor varied, when the resistor varies? So here, this is the current you are going to pass from the supply to the variable resistor. So whenever the current passes through the variable resistor, it at the point of this tap, at the point of this variable variac, the resistor is going to be included to the armature circuit. So whatever the voltage drop, sorry, I have earlier said this is in a series. No, this is the parallel thing, because if you consider the variac at the midpoint, the resistor which was connected is half of the resistance connected to the armature. If you connected to this point, if you consider this is a minimum point and this is the maximum point. So if first of all, if this variac connected at the minimum position, then what will happen? The total supply current is going to pass through the armature. If you going to increase from 0 to the maximum value, by increasing this resistor, the current is going to be decreased. Then by increase or decrease of your current, some voltage drop is going to be occur across the resistor. The whatever the voltage drop across this variable resistor is the voltage drop across the armature of your current voltage drop. So by varying this voltage drop, the speed is going to be vary, because the speed of the motor depends upon the variable voltage. So by this relation, we are having the characteristics between which was drawn between the speed and the armature current. See, just you recollect from the previous methods which we have used in the field control methods. Just nothing but by using resistor and without using resistor, how the characteristics are going to be differ. So by increasing, let me explain these characteristics. By increasing the resistance in series with the armature, then what will happen? The voltage drop occurs across the resistance. So what I have said earlier, so that voltage applied across the armature terminals can be decreased. So what will happen if the voltage has been decreased? The speed is also going to be decreased due to this relation. So if we have not connected any variable resistor to the armature, then what will happen? The character is going to be like this, which was same as the field control methods. Sorry, this is the characteristics. Without resistor, here we are going to have the value. When we are going to connected the variable resistor to the armature, by the decrease of the voltage or decrease voltage drop, then the speed is going to be decreased. This is the difference you are going to be experienced. So at the value of the current, you are going to have this. At the same value of the current, you are having the speed which was less than previous one. That's why we are, in this method, you are having the speed control by using this method. Here only there is one method we are using for controlling of the speed. And for controlling of the DC motor, not only for the DC series, not the DC shunt, I am saying this. For controlling of an DC motor, we are having a one best method. That method is nothing, system, that system is nothing but Ward-Leonard method or the system for controlling of your speed. See, this is the topic, this is the important topic we have to discuss, and you can have a 90% of compulsory question for your external examination for the controlling of speed for the DC motors. So this is also a very simple, this is nothing but, this is the connection of your Ward-Leonard system. Please check it out. Here you are going to see the two motors and one generator, and there is one bus bar. That's the main line, and the three switches, some variable resistor here, which was connected to the generator. Okay, see, we will have the procedure, how it is going to be work, and how we are going to vary this voltage and how the speed is going to be controlled. So here, this motor is a variable speed motor. This is the main motor. This M1 is the main motor, and this M2 and the G is a motor generator set. So I would like to show this figure to understand easily how the connections has made in the industrial side. Let me show you. See, this is the some system which you can easily understand how the connections are going to be made or connected to control the speed. So this is the M2 and G. This is a motor generator set, and M1 is your variable speed motor. So this is your M1 is your main motor, which was connected to the supply. These field windings are permanently connected to the DC supply lines, and these two are mechanically connected. Motor 2 is, this motor is a constant speed motor. Here the motor which you have connected to the generator, in this set, the motor is in a constant speed, some K, I'm saying that. Constant speed motor. So now we will see, this is then a small discussion. We can end it up with this topic. See, when coming to this diagram, this R is nothing but a potential divider. So M1 is your main motor. So now you have to control this motor speed. The main motor speed has to be controlled. So how you are going to be control this motor? This motor is going to apply for this motor from this generator, a variable supply is going to be applied for this armature. So whereas this field is connected to the DC supply, which is a permanent one, we are not going to change any field winding connections from the main services. So by applying this variable voltage to the armature of the motor one, main motor, then we are going to vary the speed of the motor. This is the main thing we have to do here itself. How this varying voltage is going to be applied? How this variable voltage is applied? This is nothing but it is going to be applied from this motor generator set. So what as I said, this R is in a potential divider. Whatever the current you are going to be flow through this field of your generator is going to be regulated by this resistor by moving from initial point to the maximum point. So here M1 is your main motor and which is a variable speed motor. So this G is nothing but your generator, which is a separately excited generator. This feeds the armature of the motor. This is going to be fed from the armature of this motor of your constant speed motor. Constant speed motor. So to provide the variable, the voltage motor generator set is used. Okay, this motor generator set is used to applying to supply the variable voltage to the motor. Now, what will happen if you, after supplying the variable voltage? The field circuit of the generator is separately excited, right? This field generator is going to be separately excited. So from this supply, DC supply, here the S, this switch is nothing but a reversible switch. A reversible switch. So why we have connected this reversible switch? What will happen if we reverse the switch? So the main advantage by keeping this reversible switch is the generator output values. The generator output values can be varied from 0 to maximum value from both the directions just by changing the position of your switch. So that's why this method or this system is nothing but known as regenerative control method. We here by this action of the switch, we are going to get the generation variation of the supply, varying voltage varying in both the directions by just changing the positions of your switch in the forward direction. That's why we are going to have the regenerative action in this switch. So by this reverse in the forward, if the voltage applied, the varying voltage applied in the forward direction, then the motor is going to be rotate in the forward direction. If after reversing the supply, the switch of the generator field, then what will happen? It can be it can be produce the varying voltage in the reverse direction. Then by this, we can make this main motor to rotate in the reverse direction. That's why we are going to have the speed in both the direction. So by this system, we are going to control the speed of your main motor. That's why this system is mainly employed in different applications like winders, cranes, electric excavators, rolling mills, paper machines, locomotives, steel mills, all these things. Because where we need unlimited speed control, either in both the directions, So the generator voltage, the main advantage is the generator voltage can be vary from 0 to maximum value by using this resistor. This is the variable resistor. But another name we can call it as a diverter. By this diverter, we are going to have the variable voltage. How it is going to be produced by the excitation of this field. So we can by using this switch, we can have the both the direction. So the important feature, please note an important note that is for this system, we are going to have the regenerative process, regenerative action. Okay. So here my question is, please drop your answers in the chat box. Let me have one question regarding this speed control, which is an important for us. My question is, if a load increases on the main motor, if the load increases on the main motor, then what will happen to the speed of the motor? So please drop your answers in the chat box, or you can message text to me to the in the group, so that I can have the answer in the next class. Okay. So this is your system, and some of the advantages and disadvantages you can easily understand. Okay.